Something is not happening.
You're up.
All right. Uh, Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me in my living room just on this pre-Christmas Sunday. Anybody who is not celebrating Christmas, happy Hanukkah. Um, I have planned a show today for you with a lot of empowerment. As I think I may have told you on my last show, I started a club, a 55 plus club, and we have had a phenomenal response for that. Um, the reason why I called it 55 is because, you know what, even if you're 60, even if you're 70, many times we feel like 55 or younger. We don't ever feel the same age as what our birthday says. So 55 plus, I thought, was very appropriate. And the members, the people that have come, we have had 2 meetings. We have had over 40 people. They are just really amazed by it. And the purpose of the club is not to play bingo. Definitely not. No bingo there. No playing cards or taking little trips to museums or something like that. There are other organizations who do that. I do not poo-poo that, but I do believe that people that are older and are either out of the workforce or are still often in the workforce, but they have different ideas and different needs and different wants. And one of the needs is that I find that especially women who are often left alone because their husbands unfortunately die sooner. Many of them just walk out. I mean, I just heard of a woman, her 60, her husband is 67, she's 62, they've been married for 38 years. He just walked out one day, didn't come back. I mean, he told her that he was just not going to come back and so on. So he was not, that he disappeared. But he just walked out and said, I've had enough. I'm done. I'm out of here. Well, he has the right, and people often rethink in their older age of the way they want to live. However, the one that is left behind is often in dire need, as that woman. So I felt that many of these women, and some of the men, we have men coming too, some of them, they really are in need of empowerment. And if I'm anything, I am positive. I'm always looking at the glass half full. And I always am looking at a positive side of the picture, because when I was younger, I had a very tragic thing happen to me, and it almost killed me. It almost did. I'm very sensitive, and my life when I was younger was not always smooth and just happy. I did not grow up in a very conventional family. My mother got a divorce from her husband, from my father, when I was at an early age. And in those days, you just didn't get a divorce, especially not in Germany. And so I was a little ostracized. I went to unconventional Catholic school, even though I was Lutheran. So you can imagine the dichotomy. So my life was never really that easy. But then when I was in my 20s, I had this very tragic thing happen to me. And I thought, well, that was it. That almost bowled me over. And so one day I sat on my bed and I said to myself, Gisela, what are you going to do with your life? You're 23 years old. You have to, if you have to make a decision. Do you want to go on living? And then if you do want to go on living, how do you want to go on living? And if you don't want to go on living, then do it right. Go do away with yourself, drive your car off the cliff or whatever you decide. But make a decision. And I meditated on that and I thought about it. And in those days, I didn't think of meditation. In those days, I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to think about this. So I sat there and it took me a while and I looked at all sides. You remember that song? I looked at both sides now. And that's what I did. I looked at both sides. I looked at if I do away with myself, okay, I'm out of it. I don't have to worry about it anymore. But then again, also, I didn't have any more fun, right? I mean, because I did have fun, even though my times were not such great, or one would think wouldn't have thought that I would have fun. But I was a young woman. I was pretty. I was a model. I was earning some nice money. I mean, it wasn't so that my life was totally dire, but I was not happy with it. And then I said, ah, that's what it is. I'm not happy. So how do I make myself happy? Or what would it take? More money? Well, more money is nice. Um, a new love affair? Well, at that point, I wasn't really turned on by men anymore because a man had hurt me very badly. So I said, well, how is this going to look like? What is this going to be, this happiness? And I said, you know what? I don't think what it's going to be like. And I don't know how this is going to work. But one thing I can do is I can make a decision to be happy. Now think about that. To be happy. To be happy every day. I wake up in the morning, and in the old days, for many years, it took work. I had to drag my mind into it and say, even though in the morning, sometimes I would wake up and I would think of that depression and all of that anxiety, and that would come with it. And I would drag my mind out of that hole that it was trying to fall into. And I would say, now, come on. What is it? What can you do to make yourself happy today? And after a few years, wasn't even that many years, was a year or two, it became a habit. Every day I did something, even when something tragic happened, even when something bad happened, even when I really thought, oh my God, the sky is falling and I'm right under it and I'm going to be crushed. I always found a way of seeing the positive of it. And that is what I would like to tell you about today. Because especially around Christmas time, the holidays, it is so sad of how many people, suicide, heart attack because of stress, all kinds of bad things seem to happen around Christmas and the holidays. And many people are very lonely at this time of the year because they don't have anybody. That's why here comes again in the pet thing. If you are alone and you don't have a family, like I'm here, I have a husband and I have a ton of pets, but I don't have any family in the United States. So if I would be by myself, I would have my pets, so I would never be lonely, and I certainly would have my lovely friends that I have cultivated over the years. That is also a very important thing for you to do, to always cultivate friends, your own friends, not your husband's and your friends, but your own friends, friends that you have. Now, that doesn't mean that your husband or your partner cannot be with those friends and be friendly with these friends, but they should really be predominantly that they are really friends that you cultivate. And that's also a very, very important thing. So if you don't have that, get yourself a pet. A pet, anything, even a turtle. There was just now a movie with, I believe it was Dustin Hoffman and Judi Dench, one of my most favorite actresses. And they were an older couple. They befriended themselves over a turtle, and it was just a very sweet Christmas movie. But even a turtle is better than nothing. If you have nothing, if you just have TV and maybe your computer, that is very, very sad. That's very, very sad. You really have to, you really have to think of that you make alliances with other beings. Now that means other beings means a horse, a cat, a dog, uh, even a koi, even a fish. They are very personable also. Turtles. But the more interactive animal will give you more enjoyment. Now, if you're already at an older age and you're, oh no, that's too much responsibility and I might die, or I have a heart condition and I might die. Well, you know what? They are term insurance that you could very inexpensively, okay, that you could have for your pet. That means if you die, your pet is taken care of. So think about that. Did you know that, Amnon, that there's term insurance today that you can have if you have a pet, you can make them the beneficiary.
I don't doubt it. I didn't know it, but I
Yeah,
don't doubt it.
yeah. It's. I just found that out, and I think it's a fabulous thing. And that was Amnon, our producer, my producer here. And again, thank you so much, Amnon, for giving me the forum to talk about things that matter to me and hopefully matter to other people.
They matter to
And
me.
thank you very much. It's a very, very nice thing that you're doing. And I hope the listeners also once in a while send you an email saying thank you, because it's really for our listeners that are. And if you have any questions, guys out there, click on the chat button. Tell Amnon your question or type it in, and I will answer it, whatever it is. um, One of my favorite quote, which falls into this whole area of being happy and not regretful, maybe, is. But before I say that, is two words that I almost eliminated from my vocabulary is. Can anybody guess? No,
No.
it's if and but. If the dog would have not peed on the tree, he would have caught the rabbit. If I only could have done such and such, I could have been a. Remember that famous quote? I could have been a contender. Marlon Brando. In I don't know, the movie escapes me, but it was it's a very powerful. And that is something that is so prevalent for so many people. It's the saddest thing. It might have been. It might have been, but things got in the way. My mother didn't leave me any money. I didn't go to the right school. I have a girlfriend who is continuously, she is, and no matter how much positivity I give her, I would have to probably give it to her intravenously because there's no way she's not going to say, it might have been. My mother always said that I would never amount to much. And look at this. Now I have no money. Now I have no this. A life of regret. And no matter what age you are, no matter what age, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, if you live a life of regret, you do three things. One is you add a lot of undue stress to your life, because if you are continuously unhappy and your body is always under slight stress, because unhappiness produces stress, you're going to shorten your life. The other one is you really are not going to interact with a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to stay away from you because they say, "Oh my God, that one is always moaning. It's always talking to me of how hard they worked, or how good they were when they were younger, or people don't want to be around people like that. People want to be around people that have fun because they want to participate in the fun. So many people like to be around me, thank God. And I cultivate that. I make that happen. Even when I'm sad, I'm not that I don't say, "Oh, I have a bad day," or "The other day I fell off the ladder. I bruised myself up quite a bit. Thank God I'm a homeopathist. I helped myself. A day later, I was fit as a fiddle again. My bruises were gone. Arnica to the rescue." So you see, if you want to find solutions, you will find them. And if you live in the moment and you do it, you can do it. If you have a problem, try to find the solution. Don't bemoan the problem, because that does not do anything for you. Nothing. Crying over spilled milk is not going to bring the milk back into the carton. But going about saving the rest, whatever is in the carton, or finding a way of buying new milk. You need to focus on always the positive, on the solution. Don't tell me how it's not going to work. Tell me how it's going to work. I work very, very hard. As you guys who have listened to me before, I'm a homeopathist. I sell insurance now because I felt that many people, especially in my area, we have a lot of seniors, and I want to call them really T seniors. Not so much because the word senior is really it really makes you old, decrepit, and elderly is really bad. I mean, if anybody calls me elderly, I probably give them the look to kill them because nobody wants to be called elderly. Nobody is elderly. People who are older in age, and it's, by the way, only a matter. It's not a matter of birthdays, how you feel or how you act. It's a matter of what your attitude is. So if you work hard and you play hard, and whatever you choose to do with all your might, you need to do it wholeheartedly. And I just really feel that most people who are in a in a situation that is really difficult. Sometimes life puts us into a place between a rock and a hard place. It's whatever we choose. It seems like it's not going to get us out of the hole. However, there's not only a day after, there's a day after that, and there's a day after that, and there's a day after that. Most problems, when we take a deep breath and work on the solution, get solved. Most problems move away. Even if a loved one or a pet dies, a pet that you have had for 10, 12, 13, 15 years, and that pet has to go to pet heaven, then that is very, very sad. And that can leave a big hole in your heart. But after the grieving is over, which you should do, everybody should do, everybody should grieve then. But once the grieving is over, when the realization sets in, okay, this happened, this is the way it's going to be, now work on a solution. Either get a new pet, get a different pet, get the same pet, take a trip, go visit somebody. Maybe you've always wanted to be a travel writer. Go, start a journal, take a trip, journal your trip. That's the first step to become a travel writer. Um, Always work, whatever your place is, always work on the solution. Do not ever think, you know, I I have to go back there. I have to go back to the hurt, to the pain. Don't, don't. And since we all were programmed to think better safe than sorry, right? You probably have heard about that. If you have heard that, then you will never ever take any risk. You need to take risk. And the risk to step away from the familiar hurt, from the familiar of what might have been, from the familiar, is a great one for many. But if you don't take that risk, you won't grow. You will never move forward. And as long as there's breath in our life, as long as we breathe, I don't care if you're 90, you have a chance. You need to take risk. I just heard this morning on Sunday morning on CBS, they were talking about Grandma Moses. Anybody heard of Grandma Moses? You know who Grandma Moses is, Amnon?
I heard about Grandma Moses. Who is
Yes.
she? Who was she?
She was a painter. She started painting in her 70s and painted till she died. She was 100 or not quite 100, something like that, or 102, something like that. At 96, she was giving interviews. One of our most revered painters in American history, Grandma Moses. She started painting in her 70s. And when she was asked if she had ever any formal training, she said, "Oh no, I would never get any formal training because and I don't advocate that for anybody, because when you get formal training in painting, you paint like your teacher because your teacher teaches you to be painting like that. You need to paint the way you want to paint." And in the interview, also, she was asked and said, Well, do you think anybody can paint? And she said, oh, yeah, anybody can paint. And everybody can paint. And everybody should have painted once, at least in their life, because there's a joy in that that is unrivaled. Having something that you created and with your colors, your lines, whatever it is, a very, very good. That was part of my healing process also when I was younger. I started painting, helped immensely, because it's a sedate thing. It's not something you rush around and you do other things. It's something that you do in you look at it and your mind focuses on it. It's like meditation. Meditation is a very good one also. But again, if you feel that you do not want to take risk, sitting in front of a canvas with a brush and some paint is a risk. Somebody might come by and say, oh, that's ugly. That's a risk. However, who are they to say? Who are they? It's your picture. Same thing as with when you write. Write, have a journal. Very, very therapeutic, extremely therapeutic. Let me tell you something. I read something that I thought was very appropriate about how circumstances are determined by what you think of it. One day, a man bought a stallion. All of his friends said, that's good. The next day, the stallion ran away. The man's friends said, that's bad. Soon the stallion returned with a herd of mares. His friends said, ooh, that's good. The man's son broke his leg when he fell off one of the mares. His friends said, that's bad. War broke out. But because the boy was injured, he was not drafted. Everyone said, it's good that the boy broke his leg. You see, it's always of perception. The way you perceive a circumstance. You are alone for Christmas. You are alone for the holidays. Well, you can say, woe me, I'm sad, I'm depressed, it's really too bad. Or you can say, well, I don't have to clean my house. I can enjoy my house like it is. I don't have to cook for a bunch of people. So I save money. I can cook something for myself that I only like. I can do whatever I like. If I want to sleep all day, I sleep all day. If I want to go on a movie binge for 2 days, I turn on Netflix and watch one movie after another. It's all in the way you perceive it.
There's some people call it the silver lining.
Absolutely. You got it, Amnon. You got it. That's exactly the way I want to, and if you wanted to take the little risk of saying, okay, I don't want to be alone for Christmas. I want to be out there. Well, a lot of churches have volunteer services where you can go and feed the poor. You can just volunteer, ladle out turkey and mashed potatoes and interact with other people. You can also invite somebody that you know is also alone and say, hey, listen, would you like to either come to my house or shall we go out to dinner? I'll invite you to dinner if your circumstances allow that. You can also go online and find somebody on Facebook and say, are there other people that are alone? I like to have a chat. Let's have a long chat on Facebook or on Skype. Very, very easily done. Skype, you like, this is how I'm coming to you right now. And you can see me very well, and you can put the other person, you could see the other person too. And if you have never met them before, that's okay. That's okay. You might like them. They might become a new friend. So you see, you have many options. The only option that I don't want you to fall into is woe me. Woe me, I don't, this is just too bad. This is, I don't want to be in this situation, and that's why I'm going to cop out. That's not a cop out. That's just being, I don't know. I would like to almost say it is being a coward, but then again, circumstances, that since I was in one of them, circumstances are for everybody different. However, just think of what I was telling you, and just see of how we can interact within. There's in Berlin, I just saw that on the news. I'm not, this is something that you will really appreciate, I know, they're building a church in Berlin that will have Muslim, Jewish, and Christian denominations.
Very nice.
Now, with that, I want to leave you all because I think that is what we should adopt in this country. A little more positivity. We don't need more distress. We don't, there are forces out there that provide all that stress. We don't need to do that in our head. We need to help each other. We need to work with each other. We have to look at each other as brothers and sisters, that we are here on earth, that we are all in this huge, huge ocean of life. And we need to help each other and think of each other. And with that, I wish you a very, very good week, whoever was listening. And please tell your friends about this show. Next show will be, again, more about pets, more about maybe how to save money, because I think when Christmas is over, for many people, that will be a big issue. Not for me, because I make my gifts. I make gifts for my friends. I have already plums and rum, and I have peaches with cinnamon that I made earlier this year. And then I have made cookies, and I will put cookies in there. And I will make for each one a nice signed poem that I think is appropriate. And I don't give out 20,000 gifts. I give out only to my very dearest friends. And that's the way I guess it should be, because I really am a little bit old-fashioned in that. So I wish you all a very, very good week. Stay well, stay healthy. By the way, don't take too many showers around this time of the year. You will wash off that protective layer that your skin to ward off bacteria and germs and viruses. Don't use too many antibacterial products, because A, they don't work that well. B, they're not shown to really prevent colds. Try to eat well and get a lot of rest at this time of the year, and especially with this weather being spring-like instead of Christmas-like. Many people have allergies and also are susceptible to colds. So try to stay healthy. If you do get sick, take a lot of vitamin C. Homeopathic remedies are calcium and aconite, also works really well on the first onset of a cold. So, Oxycilium you can buy in the drugstore. So, until I see you the next time.
And Gisela, there's a comment
Yes.
here from Kathy. She said she loves your new haircut.
Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. I wish you a very, very good week. Okay? Thank you. Bye bye, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Brook, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Your Healthy Pet with Gisela DiCarlo. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.